What's up, YouTube? Welcome to a video that's probably gonna be a little bit serious and maybe a little bit educational as well. And I mean, yeah, I mean that's all I know. I don't know what this video is about. I saw people on Twitter talking about this video. Ironically enough, because Keemstar retweeted it or something. I don't know. I mean, personally, I don't really take Twitter that serious at all. So personally, I don't really get bothered by whatever anyone says on there. But regardless, we're gonna hop into Jacksepticeye's video called "I Have Autism," and I mean, it's definitely something that's on the rise, right? Why it's on the rise is not really sure. Nobody really knows. But it's a thing. So yeah, I wanna keep you longer than I have to, so I'm gonna hop into this video, and I will be pausing, so if you don't like that, then this video is not for you. Okay, cool. All right, hit it, Jack. Oh boy, he starts with the sigh.
I like trains.
Really? Okay, great. Starts off with the biggest autism stereotype. All right.
To get that out of the way, I wanted to do a video talking about a recent thing that happened to me, which was I was diagnosed with autism. I'm going to leave some time there for a lot of you to be like, yeah, duh, we knew. Well, if you...
Yeah. Okay, glad he acknowledged that, because people were like, oh, why is he uploading this video? It's so stupid, blah, blah, blah. And well, I mean, people clearly didn't watch the video. What a surprise. Also, my boy is getting a little bit gray up there, bro. God damn. Holy shit. That's crazy, man. Wow. Anyway, yeah. Clearly people haven't watched this video, because literally not even 20 seconds in, he already states that, duh. Duh. So yeah.
You knew, why didn't you tell me? No one told me. I want to talk about it because I think it's important to open up that conversation, because after having it be diagnosed officially by a doctor, a lot of people came to me and were like, oh, but you're so like social and you're...
Oh God. Oh, I hate that shit, bro. Listen, to clarify, I do not have autism. I was tested for it though, but I wasn't. At least when I was 14 years old. Who knows? Maybe I am now. Anyway, this whole like, oh, but he's so social, blah blah blah. That has nothing to do with autism, bro. Because, I mean, you probably already know, but it's a fucking spectrum. It's not just, oh, you have this, so that's it. No, like some people have this, some people have that, you know, sensory issues and all that, and some people don't. You know, some people need to wear like how you say it, voice canceling headphones to like blur out the noise that the electricity makes, and some people don't, you know. Like there's a lot of like things that indicates, or like not indicates, but what people with autism can have a problem with. And I mean, it's never equal. Nobody is the same. So yeah.
So like your communication is great, and like I couldn't tell. And I think that that's an important distinction to make, because even for me growing up in like the 90s or the early 2000s, autism had to be that thing that was what is now known as nonverbal autism. It had to be the people who need to stim all the time. It had to be people who need repetitive motions, who can't really communicate well. It was that like really stereotypical version of it that a lot of people still think today is what autism is.
Yeah. That's because well, there's severe autism and there's lighter autism, right? It's just like whenever somebody is diabetic, some people are more diabetic than the others. Some people have more asthma than the others. Like there is a there's different levels to this, right? And just because you aren't crippled by your mental illness doesn't mean you don't have the mental illness, right?
And don't get me wrong, that is part of the spectrum of it, and some people are that way, but that's not the entire picture anymore. And for me, for a long time, I was like, oh, I have ADHD. And I thought that was the reason why a lot of the things I do are the way I do them. But it turns out that ADHD and autism are also like a Venn diagram, or like they're part of the same spectrum, or however you want to visualize it.
It's very close together. Also, don't take everything I say as, you know, as law, or like, you know, act like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, okay? Don't like take any advice or whatever I say as valid. All right, do your own research, get a real doctor to diagnose you. However, I have a lot of experience with, well, honestly, just researching mental illnesses, because I mean, for the longest, I didn't know what the fuck was wrong with me. All right, I still don't know what the fuck is wrong with me, but at least I now kind of, you know, understand what kind of person I am, and I don't really label myself as anything. I have chronic depression. That is just a fact. Okay, that's not something I you know, made up. I was literally diagnosed with it. But I'm not labeling myself as anything, because I think labeling it's stupid. Okay, because everyone's different, and the reason why people think autism is like the non-verbal kind is because everyone is like labeling everything and unaccurately labeling everything, because they just think, oh well, you probably have ADHD because you can't concentrate right, or I don't know, you just have a dopamine addiction. Like it's just, or like you have another deficiency that makes you whatever, right? Like people label everything nowadays without any credentials. Like they just say, oh, I see you have this thing that corresponds with autism. You probably have autism. Like, how does it help anyone? This is the only thing I'm gonna say that you actually should listen to and actually should take to heart. If you think there is a mental deficiency, or you have a mental deficiency, or you know something about you feels strange, or you know, compared to other people, you're like doing strange behavior or odd behavior, or things you just don't understand why you can't control them, get to a real professional. Okay, don't go self-diagnose yourself. All right, yeah, you can try, you can do that, but in the end of the day, before you actually, you know, say all of this, you know, about yourself, or give advice or anything like that, go to a doctor, please, for the love of God. All right, you're not a professional, no matter how much you looked up stuff on the internet. Okay, no matter how much TikToks on autism or ADHD you've watched, it doesn't matter. Okay, the only thing that matters is, have you been to a professional? Has the professional declared you the set mental illness that you thought you had? And if not, don't speak up about it. All right, don't say I have this and you probably also have this. Like, don't do that. Okay, don't self-diagnose. It's the worst thing, because it can actually mind fuck you. All right, if you are so convinced you have something, you're gonna find something that will correspond with the thing you think you have. So you need an unbiased professional to declare the final results. Okay, that's the only thing I want you to actually take at face value from me in this video. Okay, the rest, none of what I say, all right, not a single thing I say, take everything with a grain of salt. Okay, because I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a psychologist, I am none of those things. Okay, I'm just a dude that looked up stuff on the internet. Okay, so let that be clear. Anyway, Jack, continue.
It's basically, I don't want to say basically, but to put it like in the basic most banal terms, they're basically the same thing. And I got tested because of my own curiosity. I just like figuring out how my body is, why I am the way I am, how I kind of like fit into different places in the world, and also just to kind of like give myself peace of mind, because when I was a kid, I was the outsider. I was weird. I played video games too much on my own. I like stayed liking the things that other people didn't really like anymore. Like they moved on, like, oh, I don't like video games anymore. And I'm like, oh, I still like love video games. They're cool. I love.
I mean, that's not the best. I don't think that's the best example. I mean, maybe you could like say, I don't know, let's say on the playground, marbling, you know, playing with marbles was a huge thing, you know, it was a huge, like, the fuck, my light almost fell. Okay. Like, that was a huge thing on the playground when I was young. Not me, alright, that's just an example. And then everyone just moved on from playing with marbles, and then that one person didn't. I mean, I'm not saying that's the real, you know, indicator, but it is something that could indicate somebody is either autistic, okay? But remember, right, autism is just human behavior, but it somehow limits you, okay? A lot of stuff that is in autism is just human behavior, but people that have autism, they can't control these things, or they have bad control over these things, or they struggle controlling these things, right? Like, it's just, let's say, normal people can walk, right? We all know that. Now, it is not in autism, but just an example, right? A person with autism isn't able to walk as easily as the normal people can, right? So they have a struggle with something that normal people don't struggle with. You get me?
Of Sonic the Hedgehog and trains. I actually don't even really like trains or Sonic the Hedgehog.
You don't like Sonic the Hedgehog? Nah.
That's how no one knew I was autistic. As I got older, I was like, I have ADHD for sure, definitely. And I went and got tested for that and got medicated for that, and it didn't really work. And I'm trying like different medications right now for it. But at the time I was like, it's not really like clicking. Like, I have friends and other people I know who have ADHD, and they take medications like it's night and day. That's not always the case for everybody, but just some of the things.
Damn, bro, that's just shit doctor you had. You got tested for ADHD and then got medicated for it, but it didn't work because you didn't have ADHD? Holy shit, bro. Imagine having a doctor like that diagnosing you with something that is completely false.
Things they were saying about their ADHD, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of like that, but also like a lot more. It just felt, when I was younger, it basically felt like I was the outsider. And then when I got ADHD, I was like, I still kind of feel like the outsider. So I felt like there was something more. So I wanted to go get tested for autism. As I was learning more about it, I started reading stuff that people with ADHD can have autism as well, that they overlap with each other quite a lot. And then I was like, reading down the list, I was like, if you have autism, you likely have ADHD, you likely have depression and anxiety, you likely have intestinal issues, you likely have hypermobility and joint issues, and you likely have asthma. And I was like, I have all of these things.
See, sometimes it can help you, you know, figure out whatever you want, right? Sometimes it can be like, oh, well, all of these things apply to you, right? Then there's nothing wrong with going to a psychiatrist and actually, you know, taking a test, right? And seeing if whatever you came up with is accurate. And if it is, you can, you know, actively make yourself as comfortable, I guess, as you can, you know, because you now know what you can, you know, do and what like something that you struggled with, which you didn't know how to handle, you know, professionals will tell you like, oh, well, maybe if you do it like this, then it will be easier to manage. Like, it's not a bad thing, okay? No matter what anyone says, okay, just because you are mentally ill, all right, I know it sounds very crude. I know it sounds very, like, negative, right? But it's, I mean, for some people, it's very negative, right? And I'm not denying that. However, nobody should be ashamed of themselves just because they have ADHD, autism, anxiety, depression, whatever you can think of, right? So, like I already said like 3 times in this video, just go to a professional. Like, you know?
I just have like a soup of like mess going on inside of me. And then as I started to understand, it was like, oh, all of these things are kind of like under the umbrella of neurodivergency. And I just thought it was interesting to get checked for different things and also just learn more about myself. And as I've gotten diagnosed with ADHD and autism, and even for me, getting diagnosed with autism was just such a massive positive. He was talking me through it and was like, some people react poorly to it. Some people don't like to be confronted. Some people don't think they have it and are a bit in denial about it. And I was like, I see this as nothing but a win. I finally have like more answers about myself, why I am the way I am. And not just for other people and where I fit in with things, because like it doesn't change anything about me. I'm still the exact same person I was. But for me, it makes me go easier on myself having these diagnoses about the conditions that I have. Like knowing that I'm autistic, ADHD as they call it, makes me go easier on myself, being like, okay, that's why I couldn't really keep up in college, because my brain just kind of like works at a different pace. It doesn't really study things the way other people study it in a neurotypical way. And it's made me like recontextualize my life a lot more and made me just feel better about myself. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've taken away from all of this, because I've lived with it for so long now, 34 years of my life, that like it's not going to change anything really. It'll just make me dealing with myself a bit easier. It'll make me go easier on myself and treat myself a bit more kindly.
Yeah. That's very well said from him, man. Like, I'm not saying it is always good, in my opinion, because sometimes, just because, you know, I have this diagnosis of chronic depression, I tend to settle, right? I'm like, some days I would have like, I call them dips, right? And why am I so yellow? Why am I so yellow? I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm yellow. What was I saying? Oh yeah, sometimes I have these like dips where I shut down, essentially. Yeah, I think that's a good example. And in those dips, I tend to sleep all day. And I'm not talking about sleeping in till like 12, something like that. No, I'm sleeping in to like 6. Okay? Like I'm sleeping like 15, maybe 20. No, not 20. 20 is wild. I've never had that before. But like, I'll be sleeping like 15 hours or some shit. I'm not just chilling in my bed either. I'm dead ass sleeping. Right? I don't know what it is. But that's what I call what I got a dip. And then I just physically and mentally am unable to do anything at all. Okay, maybe not anything. If I actually have to like go to the bathroom or something, I will go to. I would not piss in my bed. Okay, it's not that bad, luckily. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, but I hate it. Okay, I despise myself every single time I have a dip. I hate it with the most amount of passion imaginable. Okay, in the end of the day, it's something sometimes I'm unable to control. Sometimes I'm just unable to do anything against it. And I am a sore loser, okay? I hate losing, okay? And every time that shit happens, I lost. I lost the battle against my depression, right? And I hate that with the most fiery passion imaginable, bro. There's nothing more I hate more than whenever I lose against my depression and I sleep in all day long, or I do literally nothing. You know, I just like I want to work on YouTube videos or something like that, or like, oh, maybe, you know, boot up a stream today, but then my mind and body is like, no, you're not doing that. No, instead you're gonna browse TikTok for the entire duration of the fucking day, the whole day. Oh, you set a wellness timer on your apps? Oh, okay, well, too bad, bitch. I'm just gonna increase the timer. Like, it's terrible, okay? But it's not always like this. So I'm okay with that. But regardless, some people tend to settle and just accept, you know, the thing that they, you know, can't do anything about. And for one reason, that's a very good mindset. It gives you peace of mind. On the other side, sometimes you can. It just takes more effort. But then they don't put the extra effort in. Right? Like, sometimes I beat the dip. I have beaten the dip before. I think I won like 4 times. I think. 4 or 3. Regardless. So sometimes just putting more effort in can overcome anything, right? But yeah, don't just accept everything. Just because it takes a little bit more effort to do something doesn't necessarily mean you should just give up, okay? Like, some people, and I've seen plenty of videos on the internet of people like say, oh, well, it's just my autism. I can't do anything about it. But like, that's a dangerous mindset, because you accept that you're crippled at something, which is not bad, right? But you also accept things that you could have overcome, but you didn't try because you're like, that's just my ADHD, it's just my anxiety, it's just my whatever, you know, mental illness. Like, and that's just very dangerous. Okay, so you need to make sure that you know the difference between something that just takes a little bit more effort than something you can actually not do anything about.
And I think that's really important, because how many of us don't treat ourselves kindly? And a lot of people are probably like, Sean, why are you telling everybody? Well, it's not like you got diagnosed with cancer or something. I get it. Like I said, it doesn't really change much about myself. And it's not like a condition that's like really like life-threatening for me or anything like that. But I think it's a good conversation to have, because when I talked about being diagnosed with ADHD, the amount of people that came out in support of that, but also said that they got tested because of me. Like, even my agent said he got tested much later in life, older than I am, because of the stuff I was saying. And I know that some people are going to say the same thing about this, like, oh, I didn't know autism can like present itself that way. Like, looking.
Yeah. I don't know. I also think that's a little bit dangerous. Because, like I said, if you have a mild version of some illness, right? Some mental illness, and you didn't really feel bothered by it, but you just felt like this weird feeling, and you just come across like things that you can't easily do as easy as others, but you don't really have a lot of issue with it. Like, I don't think it's that important for you to get diagnosed, right? And that's the thing why people thought autism was always just like this non-verbal, like stimming version of autism, because that's like the most insane version of it, right? That's like the most high tier level of autism. But now that people are just, you know, just because they feel different and they go, like, you know, diagnose themselves or go and get themselves diagnosed with things, right? And also, these tests are easily manipulated, by the way. You don't understand how easy it is. You can actually just, you know, they give you a test. For me, it was like, I saw like a beach of people and they're all smiling and, you know, in the sun, you know, nice weather. That was the picture I got in front of me. And the person, he asked me, what do you think when you see this picture? And back then I was severely depressed. Okay, now I'm manageable, right? I'm not doing any medications, by the way. I don't believe in that shit. That's also losing, in my opinion. And the thing I said, it still shocks me till this day. I see people enjoying themselves, but I know it's in the moment thing, and after this event or after this time where they're happy, they will fall back into the sad people they are, with their jobs that they hate, with the people around them that don't like them. And that just, like, it still hits me to this day. And back then, I truly believed that. I truly believed every single person was miserable, but they just acted like they weren't. That's not the case. And I wish, honestly, I wish that was something that I also experienced around that time. Because till this day, I still struggle to, like, enjoy myself. Do something fun. The majority of the things I do are just mind-numbing things. I forcefully just do stuff to, like, have something, just be busy with something, be distracted about my mental state, be distracted with, I don't know, my life course, right? I don't want to go too into my life situation, but it's pretty dire. Okay, if I don't succeed in YouTube, I don't know what the fuck will happen with me, to be honest. Honestly, bro. Like if this doesn't succeed in, like, a way where I can live from it, right? Then honestly, I don't know what this world has to offer me, bro. Honestly, like, there's nothing in this life I actually care about. I don't care about. It hurts to say, but I don't care about my life. And I don't want you know, to get, like, all sentimental or, like, you know, oh, poor you, blah blah. I don't want that shit, bro. Don't come close to me with that fucking mindset, bro. Like, oh, poor you. Shut the fuck up. I swear to God. Shut the fuck up. Don't patronize me. Don't be feeling sorry for me. Alright? You don't have to feel sorry for me. I will never accept anyone to feel sorry for me. Okay? I hate that. I hate that. That's why I never talk about my feelings. That's why I never talk about my well-being. That's why I never talk about anything. That's why I couldn't connect with any therapist whatsoever. That's why therapy has never worked for me in my entire life. Because I don't want to feel sorry for myself, and I don't want people to feel sorry for me, and I don't want to believe in this delusion that everything is alright, that everything is good, that everything is going to be just fine. Because I know that's not happening.
Looking at me, you wouldn't think that I was autistic for a lot of people. So I think it's important to have that conversation and also just normalize it. I'm trying to, you know what? I'm trying to fucking change this industry. I'm going into next year with an evolutionary mindset that I want to change this fucking industry from people who are obsessed with ambition and legacy. Legacy is just another fucking word for ego and narcissism. Like,
what the fuck is not? No. 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 Narcissism is something completely different than ego. Ego is something that everyone should have. Everyone should have an ego. Alright? You should care about yourself. You should be proud of yourself. You should be able to flaunt your successes in people's faces, okay? You should be able to do those things. Alright? And you shouldn't be judged for them. Just because somebody else is miserable doesn't mean you can't fucking celebrate your successes. So no, narcissism is not the same as ego. Alright? Ego is self-confidence. Alright? And the fact that Jack says this, that's very disturbing. That's not okay at all. This is what I mean with people that label shit that are not accurate, and it hurts people, and it hurts the concept of the understanding of these terms and of these mindset and like labels. Just like with racism, like everyone is racist nowadays. You criticize a person that is black, you're racist because she is black. And how dare you say that she can't dance? How dare you say that she, I don't fucking know, that she's obese, like, or you know, something like that. Labels are stupid. Okay, this is why we shouldn't label anything, because everything that we label, it's either wrong or hurtful for people, okay? Can't believe this fucking moron said this. Are you stupid or something?
Like, you're trying to build up a life for yourself that you want people to remember you after you're dead? How self-involved is that? Do good things and hope people do good things back and just spread positivity and joy, you know?
Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You can be the nice the most nice person ever. All right, you can be like the nicest person, the most considerate person, the most emotionally mature or emotionally available person in the entire goddamn world. Okay, people like that will get taken advantage of. They will get taken advantage of to the point where you're gonna start hating yourself. And the sooner you realize that, this life is all about you and about nobody fucking else, that's when you're gonna succeed, okay? That's when you're gonna succeed. Empathy, sympathy, it's all worthless, okay? Unless it's about animals. I think you should have empathy and sympathy for animals because they are morally not corrupt. But people are, all right? Every single person that you know is somehow, in some way, corrupt to some extent, okay? I'm not saying go around being a dickhead to every single person, all right? I'm saying, you know, be a respectful person, right? Give people respect. You know, when you meet them or something, or just, you know, on the bus, like somebody bumps into you, like, oh, don't worry about it. Or, you know, or you bump into someone, you say, oh, sorry. You know, nothing insane, like, not go full blown, like, oh, what the fuck, why are you touching me? Like, not like that, right? But think of yourself, okay? Be more selfish. Most people in this day and age are not selfish enough. And the people that are, they get made fun of, or not get made fun of. They get hated for it because they are egotists. They are narcissists. They are, some are called sociopaths because they care about themselves. Like, that mindset and just that stigma around it, that's horrible, okay? Because just because you have a loser mindset doesn't mean you can, like, try to, like, cripple the winner mindsets, okay? People that are winners care about themselves and only themselves, okay? You're at the top. You should always be on top. And then the rest.
But I want to change this sort of mentality around mental health and the way people operate, and this whole idea of like chasing ambition and views and goals and projects and being better than yourself every single day. It's fine to want to be better, but at the behest of absolutely everything else in your life, where your mental health struggles and all you're doing is being productive and making things and just not living your life or being a person or exploring your own mental health and your own mentalities, or dealing with the stuff in your past that fucked you up as a kid that's driving you to be ambitious because your dad probably instilled something in you, or your mom wasn't proud enough of you, so you're trying to, like, you know what I mean? Try to break down these walls and not like hide away from all of this shit. Have people like sit in this sort of like pseudo masculinity nonsense that we're all kind of hiding in. At least from my perspective, being like, I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of the lack of conversation around a lot of this stuff. And a lot of people, when I announced on Twitter that I had autism, people were like, dude, why would you admit to that? Like, it's some sort of bad thing. It's some sort of thing that suddenly like makes me worse. Or
I think the reason why people say that, why would you admit that, is because unfortunately there's still people that will think of you less just because you have these things. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm the same, all right? I have a grandpa, and he is mentally 12. I despise him. I hate him. I don't want to interact with him at all, all right? People with the Down syndrome, I despise them. I hate them. I don't want to interact with them. I won't hurt them, but I hate them, all right? I just don't like them. I don't want to be friends. I don't want to be acquaintances. I don't want to be anything near those people. All right? And I can say that, okay? I can say that. And I'm allowed to say that. And I'm not a bad person to say that. I'm not. Because why in the fuck would I interact with something I hate? That makes no sense. That's insanity. So yeah, people will think less of you. It's just how it is.
Makes me a different person. It doesn't. I would guarantee you that 99% of the people who do YouTube or do content creation or any sort of creative artistic thing all have ADHD. There's a reason that a lot of us are attracted to a job where we make our own hours and we get to communicate with people through a camera rather than having to be in front of them 24/7. You know, there's a definite pattern to this non-conformity aspect of like not wanting to do a regular 9-to-5 job, so you sit in front of a camera playing video games, or, you know, and I bet you like half of those people probably have autism, and they just don't realize that that's what autism is, like the way it presents itself, and it's the sort of terminologies and the paperwork and everything about it. The conversation around autism and what it is completely changing. And 10 years ago, I wouldn't have even said, I mean, even 5 years ago, I wouldn't have said that I had autism. And now here I am where I'm like, yeah, the signs were all there all along. And the way it presents itself in me is not so much, apparently my communication is good, but people don't realize, like, when I'm conversing with people, I'm going through like a million different things in my brain. I'm overanalyzing the way I am. I'm overanalyzing everything that I say. I'm pushing everything through a filter in my brain. I'm reading everyone's body language all the time to like see where things fit in. So I always say that I'm a really good judge of character because I'm like hyper analyzing people all the time. And not in any sort of judgmental way where I like throw it back at them. But for me, it's like
it's like a survival instinct almost. I think that is definitely something from like way back in time. Being able to analyze things very accurately, being able to observe things, understand things. You know, I think those were very good qualities to have back then, right? Because back then, everything that, you know, was not your wife or your children could kill and eat you. Yeah, you know, that was the reality back then. But I don't know if that's very. I don't think that's the best capabilities or abilities to have nowadays. I mean, sure, I guess it's useful sometimes. Maybe if you like, I don't know, security guard and you have to like look at people's body languages to see if they are you know, there's some bad intentions or something like that, you know, start shooting or some shit. Like, I don't know. That's the best example I could think of right on the top of my head. But yeah. And what he said, right? What he said about what he does in his brain when interacting with people. I mean, I find myself in there. Honestly, yeah. I find some things what he says there, right? And like I said, I could be autistic now, right? Maybe that test was wrong, right? But I am okay with that. I don't need another mental illness on top of the thing I have now, all right? I'm not struggling with anything. I know what I'm struggling with, and that's all the depression that I'm struggling with. Any like autistic or ADHD things, that is not in the question for me, right? That's not something I'm dealing with, and being diagnosed with that wouldn't help or solve anything in my life. So I don't think it's worth looking into. All right?
A thing that I can use to kind of like help me get through conversations and social structures a bit easier. And I'm able to weave in and out through that. And I use comedy as my tool to do that. I can like sit down in a group of people, use comedy, and within 5 minutes, I can get a beat on everybody and I can figure them out. And that, that's my superpower, guys. I have autism. I have superpowers. But also with me, it's sensory things. Like I've talked a lot about, like, let's say BB goes for a poop in the kitchen. I can smell when he goes to the bathroom immediately. I can pick up on the smell of shit a mile away. I'm like a
I'm assuming BB is his dog, right? I'm assuming, right?
shark with blood in the water. And then if he like shits on himself or something, I'm like, Evelyn, you got to clean it up, because if I look at it and smell it and touch it, I gag nonstop. Like I want to be able to help, but I can't do it. I will gag crazy. With certain foods, I'm a bit weird with like the textures and the consistencies of them. So for me, it's like a lot of sensory things.
Mushrooms. Yep.
But apparently I'm doing masking like all the time. So it's really interesting. I think it's interesting to see like a lot of the stuff that people talk about like in social situations and like, no, I'm just introverted and all. You probably are autistic and you just don't realize it. And unfortunately, getting tested for autism is a really tricky thing to do, because I went privately because the waiting list publicly on the NHS is like 2 years. Fuck that.
Huh? Okay. I guess it works a lot different in the UK than here.
I can't imagine having to wait that long to kind of like get an answer for things for yourself. So I feel for everybody out there who has to wait that long. I'm lucky that I was able to go private, and it still took like 2.5 months to get that assessment ready.
Okay. What? Okay. Well, this is completely different from my experience, because the moment I did the test, all right, like not even 2 weeks later, I had the results. Like, I had the results. Like, not even 2 weeks later. Like, it was literally like nine days or something. Like, that's wild to me. What the fuck?
And the assessment was fine for anyone who's thinking about doing it. The assessment for me was go in and sort of like break down your life in a way that is like, were you always like this as a kid? How did you play with other kids?
I wouldn't know. Honestly, I don't know anything about my childhood. Or not anything. I barely remember anything about my childhood, bro. I barely remember anything. I remember so little that if they asked that, I wouldn't fucking know. I got bullied. I guess that's what I remember. I got bullied. I once broke somebody's nose. I broke someone's wrist with a basketball. Not on purpose, okay? Not on purpose. That was not on purpose. The nose breaking was, I like pushed somebody from a wall because, well, he was a bully, so I pushed him from a pretty high place, and then he fell down and broke his nose. Still don't feel sorry for it. But the basketball thing, I just passed it, right? And I don't know, dude was not ready or something, or like accurate or alert, and his hand was like a little bit like I don't know, tried to grab it and then it like snapped or something. I don't know. I still don't know, honestly. Maybe it wasn't even broken. I don't know. Bro was crying on the ground, I think, you know, so he definitely hurt his wrist in some way or manner, right? What was I saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, I barely remember anything from my childhood, to be honest. I barely remember it being in middle school at all. Maybe that's just, you know, trauma that I just suppressed because, well, middle school, like when I was, what is it, 9 years old, my parents got a divorce, and well, my life fucked up by then. I had a lot of anger issues. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't remember a lot. I remember a little bit of high school, I guess, but also not a lot. And after high school, I got into a depression for like 3 years. And that was just me being in a dark room, sitting or sleeping or not eating and not drinking. I didn't brush my teeth, didn't shower, I didn't do anything. I honestly, I only consumed anime. I watched a shit ton of anime. That's possibly the reason why I'm still alive. Yeah, that could definitely be a very significant reason. This is fun, man. This is like some therapy session. What the fuck? Like, this feels good, bro. I don't need some fucking therapist that like asks $200 an hour. No, I just make a video about somebody who was talking about some things, and I just yap about it. Feels great. I need to do this more often. This is crazy, bro.
How did you interact with other people? Were you shy? Were you communicative? How did you imagine your play when you were a kid? And now as an adult, how do you interact with other people? Is it difficult to like keep eye contact? All of those types of questions that you kind of expect will be asked.
I mean, holding eye contact is awkward as shit, bro. Who the fuck is staring into your soul while you're talking? Like, that's dumb. Also, I can't concentrate when I do that. When I look at somebody and he's talking, I just look at his lips, right? Talking, like yapping, like I'm like just blanking out. But whenever I'm like paying attention to something else, and the person is next to me like yapping, right? I can perfectly understand and like follow the conversation. I don't know why, but that's just something I can do.
But there's an assessment form that they go down through that actually is like graded. And for me, one of the scores, there was like a couple of things that I was being scored on, but one of the scores was like, the threshold was like anything over 100 is probably autism spectrum, and I scored like 121. So it wasn't like a crazy high number, but there's definitely like the traits are there. And you're not really supposed to say like moderate, severe, or like high functioning and all of that kind of stuff anymore, because it's kind of degrading. But
I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck, bro. That's something I don't give a shit about, bro. It's accurate. It is very accurate. It is very just straight to the point. Are you high functioning? Yes. Are you moderate? Yes. Are you low functioning? Yes. Like, it's so dumb, bro. I hate this like language policing nowadays, bro. You can't say anything anymore. I saw a video yesterday about some fucking bitch complaining that fucking Kendrick said Eskimo in this fucking rap song. Eskimo! Yeah, I'm done with that shit, bro. I will never, ever, 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 ever comply to that bullshit. Absolutely fucking not.
You can kind of like figure out where I am on the spectrum with a bunch of other like terminologies. But the assessment I found...
It's like a JoJo's stat list. Look at this, hold on. It's like this. Just imagine that this is the autism spectrum, right? They're like power, speed, range, durability, precision, potential. Obviously not these things. Like, this would be like, I don't know, sensory issues, communication, concentration, I don't know, other things that are commonly known for autism. Like, if my diagnosis came back in like this kind of format, that would be sick. I like these. I like these spider diagrams. I don't know how they're called per se, but I always call them spider diagrams because it looks like a spider web. But like, well, how cool would it be if you had like a spider diagram of a JoJo stand with just your autism? I don't know. That sounds cool to me. If it was for depression, my depression would be like, I don't know. There's a lot of things for depression, I guess, but
I found it actually quite interesting because it is, some people don't like breaking down their life and like confronting themselves in that way, but
yeah, because what if they do, right? They're functioning in society, right? They're working, they're paying their bills, and what if they started doing that and they fall into this major fucking depression and they can't function anymore and they are fucked up because they woke up all this fucking past trauma that was not bothering them at the time, and he was functioning without knowing what the trauma caused him. Yeah, I kind of understand why people don't want to dig that shit up. It's like digging up a tomb from like a past pharaoh and then releasing some disease that was died out when that dude got buried. Imagine that. Like, I don't know why people would be digging through their childhood or like their past memories to like find out like what made them the way they are. Like, what if you like find something out and just it fucking cripples you and like with like mental or with like depression or something? That doesn't help you at all. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. Personally, I think that's very stupid.
I quite enjoy doing that. I'm a very introspective person, and I like kind of figuring out how I tick. So
yeah, I'm gonna be very direct, not in a hating way, all right, not in like a jealous way either, but you're very privileged, okay? You have the ability to stop making YouTube videos. He can stop making YouTube videos. He's set for life. He doesn't need to make videos anymore. He has made enough money to live his life however he pleases, as long as he wants, right? So of course you can take the time and the risk of digging up your past traumas or why you work in the way you work. Of course you can, because you don't have anything to lose. At least not financially. Your life won't be ruined if you fall into I mean, your life would definitely be ruined, but in a financial way, in like existing, because existing costs money, right? You have a house, you have your mortgage, you have your bills. Like, for him, if he stops functioning as a human being and falls into this deep fucking depression where all he can do is literally sleep in his bed, not eat, not sleep, not fucking shower, not brush his teeth for 3 years, he can do that, right? But the average Joe can't. If they don't make his monthly payments, that's fucked. They're done. They get moved out, or not moved out. They get evicted. Like, I understand what he means. You know, he's talking about himself here, but saying that people, I don't know, that it's a good thing to do that, that's just a very dangerous thing to say, in my opinion, because it can actually really turn out very bad.
I thought it was an interesting assessment to go through, but it wasn't scary or anything, at least not for me. So I would say if you're thinking about doing it, but you're kind of like apprehensive about it or scared of it, go for it. If anything, the worst thing that can happen is that you end up exactly in the place that you're in right now, and that's probably not that bad. But all the people out there, whenever I'm playing video games, and they're like, man, Sean's so distracted. What is he, stupid? I was pulling my hair out every time he did this. You guys are making fun of an autistic person. Bet you don't feel so good now, huh? You guys.
Okay, that would be the only plus side. Honestly, that would be the only plus side, bro. Every single person that will make fun of me in my comments, I would say, oh, you're making fun of an autistic, depressed fucking lunatic? Oh, okay. Do you feel good about yourself now? Like, that would be the only plus side. Only plus side.
Guys were attacking me over stuff that I can't control. How does that feel, huh? Not so good. Some of the reactions to it, though, were really funny. People were like, Jack, we know you did 100 episodes of Happy Wheels. And that was funny. Or I posted like the mustard meme from the Kendrick album of me screaming. And then right after that was like, I got diagnosed with
I saw that, yes. Oh, yeah, that was funny.
autism. And people were like, duh. I think that's funny. I think it's fine. I'm okay with people joking about it. I don't really have a problem with that. I think it's kind of funny. But I also wanted to talk about it because this is sort of the year where not only in my personal life, I'm trying to live my authentic self, as it's called, and I'm trying to figure out more about myself and gain the confidence to kind of just be me as who I am. But it's also the year of mental health for me and for Thankmas. And I think that's another reason why I like pushed myself to get these assessments and to kind of like open up that conversation and be sort of that person that kind of takes that initiative. So I have an audience of people that I can use that influence to spread a better message and be more positive about it and break down this whole like, dude, don't admit it. Autistic people are bad, or like people are going to treat you differently, or like it's not cool to do that, or, you know, I'm just so fucking tired of that. I'm tired of this version of the internet that we live in where everyone has to be like crazy productive, crazy ambitious, build a legacy, be as cool as you possibly can be, show no signs of weakness whatsoever. That's all bullshit. Not showing weakness and puffing your chest up and trying to be the coolest person you can be and be as productive as you can and do the coolest things you can be, that's weakness to me.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with you on that.
Because that means you're just working to hide from what you're actually scared of, which is being alone with yourself and loving yourself. Obviously, I'm throwing out a bunch of accusations, and it's not true for everybody. And it's all unique and it's all different. But you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at. You know where the vibe I'm sitting in is. And I want to tackle that head on next year. And I want to evolve. I want to be an evolved version of myself that...
Okay, that's a little bit ironic, right? Right? You gotta admit, that's a little bit ironic. What he just said
is... This kind of contradicts itself, saying like going against the whole like be better every day. But you know what I mean?
He also understood. Yep, he also acknowledged it. Yeah, that's ironic. That's ironic that he just said that. But what he meant obviously was like, don't do it in a toxic way. No, don't do it like to every single to push yourself beyond your limits, right? Know your limits, know what you can do, know what you should do, and balance those, right? Just because you have things that you should be doing doesn't mean you are able to do them, right? Just because you think, oh, I can be as good as in basketball as LeBron James, doesn't mean you can, okay? Just because you think you can doesn't mean you should. Try it, because probably you won't. All right, some things are just beyond your capabilities, and that's fine. You should be starting to accept things that you are just unable to do. Like being able to knowing your weakness is the best you can have. All right, knowing every single weakness you have, so you can work around them. All right, or maybe make them your strength. There's weaknesses that you can use as strength as well. I can't really think of an example right now, but there's probably some of them. You know? There's definitely some of them.
I want to be more open to who I am as a person and not dance around shit because of what everybody else tells me I should be acting like. That's what it is. But Thankmas is going ahead soon. Tickets are on sale. If you are close to the LA area, you want to come see it. We have so many guests. I put them up already. You can go to the community tab.
I'm so glad that everyone is just going to fucking America for all these things. Not like I would go. I hate crowded places, okay? I don't like them. I don't like people, and I definitely don't like people that are in a herd, okay? I don't like them, especially if they're around alcohol or like other shit, like smoking. No, not for me. Not for me, dog. Not for me.
And see it. It's all over Twitter as well. I've been posting a lot about it. We have some incredible guests coming up. We have some musical acts. We have 2 shows that are going on. It's going to be a great fucking day. I'm so excited for it. I can't wait to get together as a community and raise money for mental health and kind of like push this narrative of positivity and change and upheaval that I think the industry so desperately needs.
You know what I always don't understand? How do charities work? Right? I get there's charities that go like, you know, they use the money to like go to Africa and like feed children, build houses. You know, I get that. But let's say you have a charity and that is for autism. Right? Where does that money go? Like, does it go towards like research? I'm pretty sure that research is pretty much free. All right, like people get paid to do research, right? That's literally their job, right? Scientists, they research shit, right? Anyway, so that's a no, right? It's not about research. They're not gonna fund research. They're not going, you know, towards the people that actually have that autism, right? Maybe like the severe autism people, they have like they have like medical that like need like medical assistance with it, I guess. But how do you decide who gets it? So that's a no. Like I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like what am I spending money on if you support a charity? Like, and I think a lot of like these charities just don't explain anything. I don't like charities regardless. All right, I don't want one for me. I don't want one for anyone. Okay, I am very clear on that. I don't like charities. I think they're stupid. I think the government should do what the fuck they should be doing. They should be funding this shit and not the citizens. But regardless. Also, charities, I think people that donate to charities are either rich or they're very gullible. Just how it is. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So, I don't know how charities work.
Because it's not been a great year for YouTubers and people who everyone thought was amazing and great and like, oh, your numbers are really high, so that means you're a great person. You do a lot of charity, so that means you're a great person. Not always the case. And I
don't care. You don't have to be a great person. If you're entertaining, I don't see why this whole like stigma around, oh, I like this person, but you know, now he turned out to be, you know, I mean, I'm obviously not talking about like people that committed crimes or anything like that, but like, oh, but I thought he was a cool dude, but it turns out that he pushed somebody aside in the supermarket. Like, who cares? You don't know the mindset this person was in at the time. Like, I don't know, man. I can really, I can distinguish, or not distinguish, I can separate the artist from the art, very well. I have no problem with that. I'm not really like, oh, this person did this. I mean, there's some things that I'm like, okay, you know what, that's too much. I don't really like you anymore. For example, like, shit, I don't have an example. I have an example, but yeah, you know, I have had those moments where I'm like, oh, I like this person, but now not really anymore after he turned out to be something like this, or he said this, or whatever, right? So yeah, separating the art from the artist is not really a thing I have a problem with.
I've always tried to be a bit more transparent and honest and break down that wall and that barrier and not build myself up into something that I'm not. And I think that that's important. That's why I'm having this conversation with you right now. That's why I ramble. That's why we're here. That's why we do it. That's the end of it all. Thanks for watching. I don't know. I have autism. That's it.
Yeah. That was a great ending. There's nothing he could have ended with that was better than that, honestly. Alright, well, that was the video. Oh. I want to make a habit out of making these videos way too fucking long. Bro really made a video of like 15 minutes or 16 minutes, and this video, as of now, I'm recording for 1 hour and 11 minutes. Yeah. That was not the plan, okay? I was not planning on making a whole fucking movie, okay? But, alas, it happened. It is what it is. I have a lot to say about it, I guess. Maybe it was a lot of words and not a lot of meaning. I was just rambling or something like that, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care, bro. Video's probably gonna get fucking 30 viewers anyway, so who cares? Anyway, yeah, that was the autism video from Jacksepticeye, and oh my god, guys, I can't believe he's actually autistic. But yeah, I think it was a productive video. I said a lot of shit. He said a lot of shit. Good video, I guess. Yeah. All right. That's about it for today. Or this time, or this video. I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna be it. All right. Take care.